And the question that hangs heavy like a leaden cloud is this: will Taiwan be the spark that ignites the Third World War? Imagine the Taiwan Strait at dawn. Mist dances over the waters, a veil hiding warships lined up like predators lying in wait. To the west, China, a power that not only dreams of reunification, but demands it as a historical imperative. To the east, Taiwan, a vibrant democracy, a beacon of resistance that refuses to extinguish its light. Between them, 180 kilometers of sea, a distance that seems to shrink with each passing day, each military exercise, each inflammatory speech. In recent years, the signs have accumulated like pieces of a dark puzzle. In 2023, China conducted the largest naval exercises in its history near the island, sending more than 100 ships and dozens of fighter jets to rehearse what analysts call a total blockade. In 2024, satellites captured images of expanded military bases along the Chinese coast, with missiles pointed like arrows ready to fly. And now, in 2025, the drums of war beat louder as Beijing intensifies its narrative. Taiwan is theirs, and the time for patience has run out. But why Taiwan? Why is this island, with its 23 million inhabitants, the thread that could set the world ablaze? The answer lies in layers, like the sedimentary rocks that tell the Earth's history. First, there is the historical weight. For China, Taiwan is not just a rebellious province. It is an open wound since 1949, when nationalist forces fled to the island after the communist victory in the Civil War. Reunification for Beijing is more than political. It is the healing of a fracture in the soul of a nation. Then, there is the economy. Taiwan is home to TSMC, the world's largest semiconductor manufacturer. These chips, tiny as grains of sand, power everything from smartphones to stealth fighters. Whoever controls Taiwan controls the global technological pulse. And finally, there is the geopolitical chessboard. The United States, bound to Taiwan by an implicit protection pact, sees the island as a red line. A Chinese invasion would not just be an attack on Taipei. It would be a direct challenge to American supremacy in the Pacific. Let's step back a bit to understand how we got here. In 2021, Xi Jinping declared that reunification with Taiwan was a historical task that could not wait forever. His words, laden with determination, echoed as China accelerated its military modernization. In 2022, the Pentagon warned the People's Liberation Army would be ready for a large-scale invasion by 2027. But recent signs suggest the timeline may have been moved up. In January 2025, a leak of internal documents revealed plans for a reunification exercise, a euphemism that made the world hold its breath. Meanwhile, Taiwan responded firmly. Its president, Tsai Ing-wen, announced the purchase of 200 anti-ship missiles from the US, while ordinary citizens began training in bunkers, preparing for the worst. The stage was set, and the script seemed written in red ink. Now, imagine a moonless night in Taipei. The city lights shine like defiant stars, but the streets are filled with an uneasy silence. Families stockpile supplies. Children play with an innocence the adults have lost. Across the strait in Fujian, Chinese soldiers march in formation, their young faces hiding the weight of what is to come. The numbers tell a frightening story. China has 2 million active soldiers, 350 warships, and over 1,000 fighter jets. Taiwan, with its 165,000 troops and a modest navy, relies on its rugged geography and the hope of external support. But will that support come? The US, with aircraft carriers positioned in the South China Sea, has promised to defend the island. Japan and Australia, close allies, have signaled they will not stand idly by. And Russia? An unpredictable wild card, watching from the north with an enigmatic smile. And if the invasion happens? Let's paint the scenario. It's a spring morning in 2025. Sirens cut through the air in Taipei as Chinese missiles streak across the sky, exploding in clouds of fire and smoke. Landing ships emerge from the mist, pouring tanks onto the rocky beaches of Keelung. Taiwanese fighter jets take off in a desperate dance against a numerically superior enemy. Within hours, the world watches, paralyzed, as social media explodes with images of destruction. But the conflict does not stay contained. The US sends its 7th Fleet and Japan mobilizes its self-defense forces. China then fires a warning missile near Okinawa. Within days, the Pacific is ablaze, and NATO is drawn into the vortex. The Third World War, once a hypothetical fiction, becomes a reality. But is it inevitable? Some analysts say yes. China, pressured by a slowing economy and rising nationalism, may see 2025 as its window of opportunity before Taiwan further strengthens its defenses or the US consolidates its presence in the Indo-Pacific. Others, however, believe in a different path. Economic sanctions, frenetic diplomacy, or even an internal revolt in Beijing could alter the course. What we know is that time is running out. Studies from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute show that global military spending reached an all-time high in 2024, with Asia leading the increase. The world is armed to the teeth, and Taiwan is the spark closest to the powder keg. Think of Lee, a 45-year-old fisherman in Kinmen, a Taiwanese islet just a few kilometers from China. He grew up hearing stories of Cold War bombardments, but never imagined his children would face the same fear. Today, he sees Chinese ships on the horizon and wonders if the sea, which has always sustained him, will become his battlefield. Or think of Mei, an engineer at TSMC in Hsinchu, whose chips power the world. She knows her factory is a target, and that her life, like millions of others, is in the line of fire. These are the human voices of a drama that transcends maps and strategies. So where do we go from here? If the invasion comes, the cost will be unimaginable. A study by the RAND Corporation estimates that a conflict in Taiwan could kill tens of thousands in weeks, collapse global supply chains, and push the world economy into a depression. But even without war, the shadow of confrontation has already changed the world. Nations rush to form alliances, cities build shelters, and the youth grow up with a burden they did not choose to bear. Taiwan, this island of resilience, forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Peace is fragile and the future uncertain. As the sun sets over the Taiwan Strait, the waters reflect a golden glow, a beauty that hides the storm approaching. We are on the threshold of something monumental, and history watches us with unyielding eyes. Will 2025 be the year the world changes forever? Or will it be the moment when, against all odds, we find a path back from the brink of the abyss? The answer is not yet written, but one thing is certain. The fate of Taiwan is the fate of us all, and the clock keeps ticking.